Dear followers, dear friends, I'm coming back to talk to you about one amazing topic about a plant which is known as aloe vera, and we will ask ourselves, aloe vera, the miracle tree, myth or reality? That is the question of today, and I will try to answer it. For those who don't know me, I'm retired associate professor Eugene Sanzabiga. I'm 65 years. I'm married, 2 children. I have a PhD in African linguistics from University of Nice, France, which I got in 88. And I have had a work experience of 35 years teaching and doing research in various institutions. You are on National University of Rwanda, Kigali Institute of Education, Higher Seminary, Skapang, Humba, and I have done consultancies in different institutions. First of all, as an expert to HEC, Higher Education Commission, as auditor for higher education institutions, but also as external examiner to Cape Town University, where I was reviewing and assessing doctoral thesis, Kigali Institute of Science and Technology, School of Finance and Banking. I have been also panelist to that, which is a German academic exchange service, where I was a member of the panelists in charge of selecting PhD candidates. When I was in France, I have been also co-founder of Mediterranean Afrique Solidarité, non-governmental organization, whose I have been the director of research and development department for 3 years. Currently, I am partner to Forever Living Products, and I am at the level of senior manager. Recently, I have even qualified for an incentive called Senior Eagle Manager 2024. I'm a member of the country support team and co-founder of the 7-Digit Club. That is in Sanzabiga. Then about the topic of today, I divide it into 4 parts. First of all, introduction, then extraction and stabilization of aloe vera, chemical characteristics of aloe vera, and main benefits of aloe vera. As an introduction, I will say that aloe vera is an amazing plant because even researchers could not find one name for it, as you will see it. And Mike Adams, health ranger, said this: of all the herbs I've studied, and I have written thousands of articles on nutrition and disease prevention, aloe vera is the most impressive herb of them all. This means what it means. Now, aloe vera, what is it exactly? Etymologically, it comes from Arabic aloe, meaning shining bitter substance, or Hebrew halal, bitter glowing plant, and vera, from Latin verus, vera, real, meaning real plant or real shining bitter substance or plant. It is also called very often desert cactus. It is known to grow in wild regions as a plant which likes very dry regions or arid climates. and its origins are not so known. Of course, there are some hypotheses. Some talk of Sudan, others Arabic Peninsula, Canary Islands, etc. But recently, the International Coalition of Researchers from UK, Denmark, Norway, Australia, Ethiopia, South Africa, and led by Aloe and Megan Grace, a famous botanist at Royal Botanic Gardens and a lecturer at University of London, and 9 Rosted from University of Copenhagen, talks of Arabic Peninsula. That is their conclusion. We have about 400 species of that plant, and the botanic name of the species used by Forever is the one called Aloe barbadensis mila, from the researcher who did studies on it. And it is actually considered as the true aloe currently. Like garlic, it belongs to the family of lilac or Asphoderaceae family. In ancient history, we know that Greek scientists regarded it as the universal panacea. Then Ethiopians were calling it as the immortality tree. Later on, we have even got some other names like the miracle tree, as I put it in my title, the elixir of long life, the doctor in the pot, and so on. Its curative and regenerative properties were recognized even in the Bible and the ancient Egypt, typically in hieroglyphics. And you know that, for instance, Alexander the Great was using it as the only palliative for bruises or hematomas and injuries. In modern times, it has been discovered, and for instance, Christopher Columbus was using it for treating wounds when his soldiers were wounded during his explorations. The first written reference in English was a translation by Goodby around 1655 of the Dioscorides medical treatise, which is called the Materia Medica. Then later on, about 1800, Aloe Vera was in use as a laxative in the US. In the 1930s, there was a turning point because it was then used for chronic and severe radiation dermatitis. Thereafter, serious and in-depth investigations were conducted by several researchers in different laboratories, and they made controlled clinical tests to assure that those properties I talked about, or its effectiveness and the curative properties, were proven. Of the hundreds of types of aloe vera that exist, as I said, about 400, the one that is the greatest, that has the greatest nutritional and therapeutic properties is, as I said, the Aloe Vera barbadensis, which obtains his optimal properties at 2-3 years before harvest. But as we know, 2 hours after harvest, it starts losing some of those properties, meaning its therapeutic properties, due to the phenomenon of oxidation. Then we need to stabilize so as we can keep those properties, meaning stabilization and refrigeration to neutralize the undesirable effects of oxidations. And then some laboratories are known to have done so many works on it. For instance, Linus Pauling Institute of Science and Medicine in California, International Aloe Science Council, which is a non-profit organization and the primary advocate for the aloe vera industry in the science of aloe vera plant for over 40 years. And this organization has been founded in the 80s in order to regulate and supervise the quality and the quantity of aloe vera in products which are on the market. We can also mention the University of Oklahoma. Now, extraction and stabilization of aloe vera. Aloe vera, as we said, is an amazing plant, but it is also fragile when it has been harvested, because 2 hours later it starts being oxidized. Then we need to keep that quality by stabilizing it. But first of all, we must extract that juice or that gel. And we have currently two types or two versions. One on the left with 97.3% of aloe vera, and on the right 99.7 aloe vera, 100 of aloe vera. And those two products have been certified by the International Aloe Science Council for their purity and potency. And it is even known that they have nearly double of the amount required for certification. Of course, as we know, Forever has also other certifications, but I will not go into details. Coming back to this plant, or the product from this plant, we know that it is sugar-free. It is artificial preservatives free. It is gluten-free, meaning it can be used by so many people without any harmful effect. How is it extracted? There are so many procedures or techniques for extraction. And finally, quality and preservation of the plant's properties will depend on the techniques used, because there are some economical or cheap techniques which lead to loss of those properties in most of cases. How to differentiate those techniques? We know that every manufacturer of aloe-based products is requested to indicate on the label if he uses juice, extract, gel, or powder. The gel of aloe vera corresponds to the pulp of the crushed leaf, which is very rich in polysaccharides, vitamins, and minerals. But may also contain aloe, which is a laxative substance contained in the plant and it is eliminated during the process of transformation to obtain the juice. The aloe vera juice does not contain aloin and keeps the rest of benefit compounds. And then what about the powder? The powder is in fact a kind of dehydrated gel. And the extract, what you have called extract, is a preparation obtained from a powder mixed with water. Note that many manufacturers, maybe even most of them, are using powder because of the low price and the logistical economy involved. Indeed, in its area, it is more expensive to transport tanks of aloe vera juice or gel than the hydrated powder, to which they add some water later on. It is understandable. Now, after extraction, how is it stabilized? And what is, first of all, the purpose of stabilizing aloe vera? Aloe vera gel, I mean. It is to keep it fresh, as it was extracted from the plant. Then it is so important to know how it has been stabilized after extraction, meaning how to make sure that its properties will not be alterated after weeks and months. There are two main stabilization techniques. First of all, what we call pasteurization, meaning that the juice is exposed to high temperatures, very often above 120 Celsius degrees during a short time. And this will eliminate all pathogenic agents, but will also destroy so many important molecules like vitamins and enzymes. Now, what is the difference between pasteurization and sterilization? Because people tend to confuse them. In sterilization, all the microorganisms and spores present in the food are destroyed, while in pasteurization, a part of the most resistant microorganisms and a part of bacteria and the enzymes survive. Now, what is the difference between pasteurization and stabilization? Let's talk about stabilization and cold stabilization specifically. In a cold pressing machine, the external part of the leaf, which is the green part of the aloe vera leaf, is separated from the internal part of that plant. That means from the pulp. In that machine, the pulp is crushed, which allows to extract non-filtered raw juice, which is pumped into a tank by using a cooling coil, what we call in French serpentin de refroidissement. It is an artisanal process which allows an optimal conservation of the nutrients and the minerals of the plant. Which are the steps for this technique of stabilizing aloe vera gel? 3 steps. The first one, they rapidly heat the aloe vera gel to a temperature in the range of 35 degrees Celsius to about 80 degrees Celsius. And the second step, they add 1 or more stabilizing antioxidants. These are known. It might be tocotrienol or tocophenol blend. It might be rosmarinic acid. It might be polyphenols or any combination of them. And as step 3, they rapidly cool the heated aloe vera gel to a temperature in the range of 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Note that Forever has the exclusivity on this technique, and it has filed the application for patent in 2003, and the same day the patent was assigned to Aloe Vera of America, which I will talk about in a few minutes. Then it was published in November the same year. Now, as a conclusion about these techniques, I must say that extraction and cool stabilization of aloe vera allow to avoid parcellization and freezing. Thus, the juice is identical to the one of the leaf of the plant. And this was the purpose. And you know that analysis made by the independent laboratories show that this technique, which is unique, allows to preserve the biogenic efficacy of the juice 100%. Now, let me invite you to watch two very short videos. The first one will talk of plantations of aloe vera, because you should have some information on this. It will talk also on harvesting and extraction. And that technique is very clearly shown in the video, meaning extraction. Stabilization, the second video, and it is a very short video taken in Aloe Vera of America inside, which is the factory in charge of manufacturing all aloe-based products, which I have had the chance to visit in 2018.
Big up.
What are the chemical composition and nutrients in aloe vera? We have so many. First of all, we have polysaccharides, meaning carbohydrates whose molecules consist of a number of sugar molecules bounded together. I will not go into details. There are so many. You have prostaglandins and fatty acids. And you know that prostaglandins are very important for our body because they help to reduce swelling, allergies, and they increase healing. You have enzymes, meaning substances in charge of a variety of chemical reactions in our body. There are many also. You have anthracenones, about 12. These are compounds found in plants, fungi, lichens, used as antioxidants, laxatives, anti-inflammatories, anti-arthritic, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-diabetic, neuroprotective, or even immunomodulators. There are many also. I will not go into details. You have minerals, calcium, phosphorus, copper, iron, etc. Vitamins, many. You have, for instance, vitamin A, C, B1, B5, B6, B12, which are very, very important vitamins in our organs. You have also amino acids. And note that there is in that product 20 of the 22 human body needs. And there is 7 of the 8 essential, because there are also non-essential amino acids, but I will not go again into details. You have also hormones, which help a wound healing and are anti-inflammatories. Now, let's see what are the main benefits of aloe vera. I will just pick the most important. It is, first of all, a pain inhibitor because it reduces pain. Why? Because it penetrates very deeply and it blocks pain in deep layers of the skin due to its active components and the power to penetrate and ease inflammation. Second, it is an anti-inflammatory and anti-allergenic because it works as steroids like cortisone, but without any harmful side effects. In fact, several compounds responsible for these actions are known. For instance, glycoproteins that inhibit and break down bradykinin, which is a major mediator of pain and inflammation, and also have various anthraquinones and salicylates, which are other anti-inflammatory and pain-killing agents found, for instance, in some medicines like aspirin. Aloe vera gel is also helpful in healing skin abrasions or burns because it contains magnesium lactate, which is a substance that inhibits the histamine reactions made by the immune system in response to irritant agents. Thus, it can be used for every type of inflammation, like bursitis, which is a kind of inflammation of the sac-like cavity, containing replicating liquid between joints, muscles, and bones, as you know. It can be used also for arthritis or even insect bites. Note that aloe does not contain cortisone, but has enzymes and other elements which work extremely well in relieving soreness in affected areas. 3. It has a healing action because it contains very high levels of calcium, magnesium, potassium and zinc, as well as vitamin C and E. And those minerals promote the formation of a net of fibers that trap the red corpuscles of the blood, thus speeding the healing process. And you know that calcium is an important element in the proper function of the nervous system. And it is for that reason that it is used on muscles when there are problems. And it is a great catalyst in all healing. 4. It has keratolytic action, meaning it has exfoliant properties because it removes the damaged skin and replaces it with new skin cells. And we know that it allows the free flow of blood through the veins and arteries in cleaning those arteries and veins of small blood clots. 5. It has antibiotic action. First of all, on microbes, because it has an antimicrobial activity. Since it has been proven to stop the destructive action of so many bacteria such as Salmonella and the Staphylococcus that produce pus. It is also known to combat other microbial agents, which I will not talk about any details here. Meaning it is very effective against so many agents which are harmful to our body, and specifically the fungus called Candida albicans. It is an excellent element in eliminating bacteria as well as preventing infections when a greater than 75% concentration is directly applied to an affected area. It has also an antiviral activity because it fights viruses when used in a greater than 75% concentration and applied directly to the virus. Very effective against the vaginal trichomona strain or virus because of asemana. And you know that this substance has been found in aloe vera, and it has a very strong effect on viruses when it is injected in the body. For instance, against the virus causing leukemia or fibrosarcomonas in animals. And currently there are some studies which talk of this element as an aid in fighting the HIV virus as we know it. It has an antifungal activity, meaning it is an fungicide when applied directly on the fungus. 6, it has a cell regeneration effect or action because it possesses a hormone that accelerates the growth of new cells but also eliminates the old ones. Due to the presence of calcium in aloe vera, which regulates the amount of liquids in cells, internal and external equilibrium is maintained. This creates healthy cells in all body tissues. But it has also a skin care effect. As we know, it has been documented that Queens Nefertiti and Cleopatra VII were using it for their skin care treatment. And we'll come back to this. But let me note that Dr. Faith Strickland of MD Anderson Cancer Center at the University of Texas assessed that the aloe vera helps to protect the skin's immune system from harm. And as we have noted it has 17 amino acids needed by the human body for the formation of proteins and tissues. And it also contains minerals like calcium, phosphorus, copper, iron, manganese, magnesium, potassium, and sodium, which are essential elements for metabolism and cellular operations. That's why it has a very strong skin care effect. 7, it is an energizer. Aloe vera is an energizer because it promotes good metabolism and the production of energy. That's why I'm taking it while talking to you. It contains vitamin C because, as you know, it is not produced by the body. And you know that it stimulates, improves circulation and proper function of the cardiovascular system. And it strengthens the immune, circulatory, and digestive systems also. That's why it has an energizing effect. 8, it has a digestive action because of the large amount of enzymes it contains. And we know that some enzymes are produced by the body, but others not, meaning they must be supplied externally from the normal food or supplementation, for instance, forever living products. Enzymes transform proteins by breaking them down into amino acid components. It means carbohydrates, which are transformed into sugars or glucose, and fats, which are transformed into fatty acids. One component, aloin, which is extracted from the outer rind of the leaf, is used as laxative. In gastrointestinal problems, aloe vera appears to slow down the emptying of the stomach and to inhibit the release of excess hydrochloric acid and the enzyme pepsin. One recommendation when you talk of aloe vera as a digestive: take, first of all, a small dose, a very low dose, meaning 1 to 2 ounces a day, and see how your body responds. Then increase the quantity. 9, it has a detoxifying effect, a very strong one. And what means detoxifying? It means to eliminate some substances, meaning toxins, regenerate the tissues, and promote assimilation of nutrients. It is due to the presence of potassium in aloe vera, which improves and stimulates the liver and the kidney, the principal organs of detoxification. Aloe contains hyaluronic acid, which eliminates toxic materials within the cells. And the first time aloe is ingested, it tends to cause a slight case of diarrhea because it causes an initial cleansing of the intestines from bacteria as well as from food stuck in the falls and in the diverticulum. Then it has a rehydration effect on the skin. Why? Because aloe vera penetrates deeply and restores lost liquids. It also repairs damaged tissues from the inside out, burns and sunburns. 11. It has nutritional action. Why? Because aloe vera contains 18 of the 23 amino acids, as you said, which are the building blocks of proteins that the body needs to form cells and tissues. It also contains enzymes necessary in breaking down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins in the stomach and in the intestines. It contains a large number of vitamins like B1, B5, B6, B12, A and C, and also minerals like calcium, phosphorus, etc., which are very important for our nutrition. 12. It has a natural cleanser or cleansing effect because it contains saponins and also oils. On the other hand, it is very important because it destroys dead tissues, thus cleansing wounds because of the presence of proteolytic enzymes. And it has also an effect on irritations. It eliminates burning and itching, meaning it is useful for bites, rashes, and so on. It is very important for vessels because it has an effect and a positive effect on vessels, meaning it dilates the capillaries, thus increasing blood flow. It has a great effect on transporting nutrients throughout the body. Why? Because there is lignin which penetrates deeply in the body, and it is a very strong vehicle to transport other elements that are needed by the body. This is why there are thousands of medical and cosmetic products mixed with aloe. Example, they can combine it with eucalyptus and jojoba, and it eases the pain by penetrating the 3 layers of the skin, entering the muscle region. They can mix it with propolis, then it makes an excellent cream for skin infections. They can also mix it with coconut or sunblock, and then it makes an excellent sunscreen. Aloe is also used in dentistry, and Dr. Timothy Moore of the University of Oklahoma who has conducted researches on that topic, argues that toothpaste made from aloe or an extract of aloe can help combat bleeding and gingivitis in gums or prevent tooth decay without the abrasive action which causes tooth decay itself with a prolonged use. When it is mixed with jojoba, it can eliminate chapped lips, meaning dry and cracked lips. It can also eliminate fever blisters. Aloe has also an action in the beauty care. I have talked about Queen Nefertiti and the Queen Cleopatra VII of ancient Egypt, who were used to utilize this liquid for their beauty treatment. Our skin is in fact very often exposed to so many elements like wind, dust, sun, which cause it to lose some of its youthful features, meaning softness and suppleness. Thus, aloe has become an important element in beauty products. It has two components: lignin, which is a kind of cellulose, and polysaccharide, kind of carbohydrates, which truly penetrate the layers of the skin, meaning epidermis, dermis, hypodermis, and cleans out bacteria and oil deposits that block your pores. And we know also that it has so many natural nutrients, as you have said, the minerals, vitamins, amino acid enzymes, and all those elements stimulate the reproduction of new cells and the replacement of dead skin cells. If not, infection begin to form in the skin. Because of the power to regenerate, to heal, to tune, and its ability to penetrate deeply, aloe vera is used in moisturizing creams, night creams, shampoos, toning creams, and facial cleansing creams, and so on. It is also used in suntan and other skin protection lotions, creams for muscular and rheumatic pain and stiffness, gelatin foam used to combat acne, psoriasis, or eczema. Recent studies have also talked about effects of aloe vera on type 2 diabetes mellitus and HIV virus. Type 2 diabetes. Conclusions of the compilation of 9 American studies revealed that it has a positive impact on patients. And when it is consumed orally, it decreases significantly the levels of glucose in the blood. And regular consumption stimulates the production of insulin, thus also its utilization. The suggested posology in that compilation is 50 milliliters per day for the juice and 200 to 300 milligrams per day for capsules. There is a study conducted by Neha Dehora Krishnan Vekantraman called Aloe Vera and Diabetic Dyslipidemia, Improving Blood Glucose and Lipoprotein Levels in the preclinical and clinical studies, which has been published in Natural Library of Medicine in December 2022. And this study shows that shreds of evidence strongly suggest that the oral administration of aloe vera may be effective in improving blood glucose homeostasis and lipid metabolism. But it has, as you might expect it or understand it, some limitations, because the most significant is that not all the preparations of aloe vera were assumed to be equivalent in composition and bioactivity, which could result in variations in glucose lowering and hypolipidemic effects. There is also a lack of random sampling, lack of blinding, and the same size in various studies. There is a variety or variation in dosage used in clinical trials, and determining the minimum effective dose of aloe vera that can be effective to produce impact in clinical studies is difficult. It is nevertheless the first product recommended for that area, meaning diabetes, in the guide to natural remedies for health and well-being. HIV virus. Studies suggest that the consumption of aloe vera may be of help to HIV-infected individuals. But let's note that more studies are still needed. Now, dear friends and followers, this is what I want you to say today. We can talk of aloe vera for days, months, and years, but I've tried to give the important information, or the most important information. I invite you to use it very often because it has very strong actions in your body, as you have said it, and many. And as you can see it on the picture here, I liked it too much, and I can't miss in my daily use. If you have some questions, you might write to me, and you have my contact. But first of all, subscribe, like, comment, share this information of today. And as I used to say, I'm forever, I like forever, and I invite you to join us. Thank you so much.